So today we'll be covering crop selection and crop scheduling. A lot of the principles will be applied for outdoors, but some of them are more specific for hoop houses in Arizona. So when we're looking at crop selection, first we have to think about, are the crops that we're growing adapted to our climate over here? Are the crops cold hardy enough? So if we're planning to grow something throughout the winter, is it below the temperature that would potentially damage the crop? So can the crop survive a light freeze, for example, or are we growing in an area where it freezes to very low temperatures reliably, and then we have to deal with a different production system than we would in an area where we're growing in a hoop house where we may only occasionally get a very light frost. In the low desert, heat tolerance, especially of winter crops, is extremely important because we can have temperatures that fluctuate quite a bit, especially in January, February, and March. And a warm spell can then lead to flowering of some of the crops, which would make them essentially non-consumable anymore. Crops should also be adapted to the soil conditions. A lot of desert soils, especially in the lower elevations, they have a pH higher than 7, sometimes around 8. And these alkaline conditions sometimes interfere with the take-up of nutrients and can lead to nutrient deficiencies, or they can lead to crops not producing to their full potential. Some areas also have soil or water that is higher in salinity than is optimum for the crop that we're trying to grow. And it's important to understand what your soil and water quality is and know both the pH and the electrical conductivity, the EC, which is an indicator of the salinity. Vegetables need to be grown in the right season, especially at the lower elevations. We do have a cool and a warm season when specific plants should be grown because they are not tolerant. Cool season vegetables are in general not tolerant of the high temperatures that we have at the lower elevations in the desert. The same with the warm season vegetables. They will not do very well when grown even in a hoop house during the winter time, and we're getting close to freezing and we're growing vegetables or herbs that are not at all tolerant to these cold temperatures.